and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, February 10th, and I'm your host, Brian Boudreau. It's great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, the Norwood Police Department welcomed 5 new officers to the squad. The library remembers the blizzard of '78 on its 45th anniversary. But first, on Monday, the police made an arrest in the shooting death of 13-year-old Norwood resident Tyler Lawrence last weekend while visiting his grandparents in Mattapan. According to CBSNews.com, Suffolk County District Attorney Kevin Hayden said Monday that an arrest warrant has been obtained for 34-year-old Sashawn Scarrett, who is already in police custody. Scarrett was arrested Sunday and charged with a drug distribution offense involving fentanyl. He's expecting to be arraigned on first-degree murder charges in the coming days. NCM will share updates on this story as it becomes available. The Norwood Police Department held a swearing-in ceremony for 5 new officers last week. With these 5 officers being sworn in, it was the largest swearing-in ceremony in the last 16 years. NCM talked to officers Connor Riggle and Mark Benjamin about why they wanted to be police officers and what it means to serve the Norwood community.
I'll read you right now.
I, Connor Riggle, do solemnly swear that I will bear the truth.
It's actually always been a lifelong dream of mine since I was a little kid. Initially started by watching Scooby-Doo and catching the bad guys, protecting that way. And as I grew up, I had an uncle in law enforcement, and he was a important factor in my life, and encouraged me to go on to do this route. And growing up in the town of Norwood, I've had always good relations with the police officers here. They've, throughout, school resource officers, working as a camp counselor, I've always had great interactions. So that just, led me down the path.
So law enforcement route for me started in college. I was actually a business administration major. Then I switched it because I felt that growing up in Dorchester primarily my whole entire life, I felt protection from the police there. And I felt that I can also do the same for any community that I serve. So in college I was like, you know what? I felt a drive to do this, so I was like, let me do this. I, Mark Benjamin, do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and will support the Constitution thereof, so help me God. When I took the Boston Municipality Police exam for Boston and State, I was waiting to hear back from that. My buddy, whose wife is from Norwood, told me, hey, might as well apply. I was like, you know what? Sure. So I applied, came and took the test, and before you know it, we're here.
Like I said, I had a great relationship with the police in my own town, and so I've always wanted to give back to my community. And, I see a lot of people that I know, and I can't wait to meet even more people throughout my job here. And so it means everything to give back to the community, because they gave so much to me growing up.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you very much.
It's been 45 years since the historic blizzard of '78. Norwood Library celebrated the historic event this past Tuesday. Former DPW worker and Norwood native Frank Civitone Jr. recaps his experience during the iconic storm.
Years, from 1965 to 1973, believe it or not, I started my snowplow business. I shoveled half the driveways at Allendale Parkway.
You did?
And I even built snowplows with tires with plywood and made it like a big snowplow. And people, all the neighbors, I think, thought I was ready for OnDemand. But that's how much I loved it. The guy in the front end loader did the street every day would pick me up, and I'd sit in the loader with him all day. So that's about what I did then. The storm started at February 6th at 10 a.m. I started work that morning at 7 a.m. I worked the storm without going off the clock till February 17th. That was 12 straight days, about 288 hours I worked. In the town of Norwood, when I got my checks, I got another envelope that thick with meal vouchers for every 8 hours. They gave me $2.50, like a stack like that. I worked the most overtime of anyone on the town, and I think in any kind of aspect of the town. But like I said, I was grateful for Patty's father because, we probably could have split that work, but he decided to give it to me. So probably for a good reason too. So.
We'll be right back with an action-packed sports update from Ron Marshalsea, and Library Director Clayton Cheever fills us in on all the happenings at the library in February.
Did you know Norwood Community Media has a weekly newsletter? If you are interested in signing up, all you have to do is go to our website, norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Once you're there, scroll to the bottom of the page and click on the Sign Up for Our Newsletter button. All you have to do after that is fill out your first and last name, your email, as well as your zip code. Once you press send at the end of each week, you will have our newsletter in your inbox, ready for you to catch up on all things Norwood.
With high winds and extremely low temperatures this past weekend, the DPW was on alert. Foreman of Parks and Highways, Chris Cassavant, explains that the DPW got lucky with the high winds when minimal damage occurred.
Well, the only preparation we really do is with the strong winds and the cold temperatures, we make sure all our chainsaws are gas fueled up, our chippers, all our trucks for our bucket truck is ready to go just in case, and we make sure our guys are on standby. I can't speak for the other departments, but for the Parks and Highway, we took care of one large limb that fell down on Winter Street. Unfortunately, it hit the neighbor's fence, and there was a tree up on Mylod Street that fell down. It also took out a fence, but one was Friday night, one was Saturday. Yesterday at lunchtime, both locations were cleaned up, and the crews are out there fixing the fences today. I mean, a water main break, water break in your house and something like that, you may want to call the fire department first. Maybe they could get out there a little quicker to respond. But we have somebody 24/7 at the DPW taking calls, available to go out to the location. So any calls, any concerns, call the DPW. We have somebody, like I said, on call 24 hours. They'll be out there and they'll dispatch out to whatever we need for other resources to assist in the situation.
In January, Selectwoman Helen Donahue announced her retirement from the Board of Selectmen after serving the town for 22 years. Recently, Jack McCarthy had the opportunity to sit down with Helen to talk about her time in the office and what she was looking forward to in the future.
Why love Norwood? Because of the people. The town is the people.
So let me ask you a couple questions. You said your biggest regret, I think, was the
losing
state
the rep race.
Yeah. So let's go the other. What are you most proud of that you've been able to accomplish on the board?
Trying to keep the town. Well, what I'm the most proud of, period, is the best thing I've ever done in my life, Jack, is having those 3 kids.
Yeah.
Olga, Molly, and Ann. They have brought me the greatest happiness in my entire life. And my the family, you know. As far as the board goes, I'm very, 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 very thrifty, but I'm very, very, very generous. And like the best thing that I've done is represent. I understand how it is not to be free to spend. You know, like my life experience has been varied, and like I have very, very close friends who, when they were old in their life, had to make a choice between being able to get the Boston Globe delivered every day or to buy their medicine. And what I've tried to do all these years, I've tried to make sure that things don't get out of hand as far as spending.
NCM thanks you, Helen, for all of your years of service, and we wish you well in your well-deserved retirement. Tune in the coming weeks to watch the full show with Jack and Helen. Now we throw it over to school news with Jordan Robinson.
I'm Jordan Robinson, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In the fine arts news, the music department held auditions for the Honor Music Festival at the Prescott School. The event was organized by instrumental music teacher Alana Lawrence. Students in grades 3 to 8 had the opportunity to audition for the honor band, honor orchestra, or honor chorus. Instrumental teachers Alana Lawrence, Larry Smith, Amy Bedard, Steve Conant, and Michael Williams, along with general music teacher Constance Cook and Chelsea Sardoni, listened to over 150 students audition to be accepted into their honors groups. Brian Riley, along with the Fine Arts Director, Jeff Cure, and Parent Music Association volunteers, were a huge help in organizing the registrations and acceptance letters. High school music student volunteers worked hard all day and made the young musicians feel comfortable before their auditions. The Honor Festival concert will be held on Wednesday, April 12th at 7 p.m. at Norwood High School. In Norwood High School news, congratulations to Celestin Diaz Segundo and Sidvika Camaro, who were named the Students of the Month. In October, Coakley Middle School STEM teacher Christina Serratas was honored as Standout Teacher of the Year at the Mass STEM Hub Fall Conference. Her students have been working hard and have just finished their projects, and over the next few newscasts, we will be highlighting these creative projects. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Genesis.
Hello, I'm Gabriel.
And this is our computers project.
Our group name are the Kool-Aids.
And we decided to make an arcade game.
Hooray!
So, it works by using a pressure sensor and an LED light. So the pressure sensor turns on the LED light.
The pressure sensor is right there. And here's our hammer that we're supposed to hit right here in the middle so the LED flashes.
Well, it's supposed to turn on.
But you can't hit too light
or it won't work. You have to.
Or if you hit too hard, it also won't work.
You have to find a perfect sensor.
There we go.
And that's our computers project.
Hooray!
Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and we're Santa's Little Helpers.
Our project is when Santa goes down the chimney, he's going to step on the carpet. Under the carpet is a pressure sensor, and when he steps on the pressure sensor, the star topper on the tree is going to light up.
Callahan School grade 5 students kicked off Black History Month with a quilt that features influential Black and African Americans and their biographies. Grade 3 students in Miss Miranda's class became math detectives as students worked with their partners to solve multi-step word problems to uncover clues to a mystery message. Check out grade 4 students in Miss Ryan's class having fun working on a science experiment. And Lisa Bourgeois came to the Callahan School to share SEI strategies to support multilingual newcomers. SEI stands for Sheltered English Immersion. This is a total immersion bilingual education technique for rapidly teaching English to English language learners. During this workshop, they shared the origin of everyone's names, reviewed data, and discussed myths versus facts. The kids at the Cleveland School have been busy. The 4th graders have been busy making maps and treasure hunting. Let's go to the Cleveland. At the Prescott School, all the students from grades 1 through 5 are working with the concept of 3D. This is exciting and challenging at the same time, as they change from 2D, using paper and drawing on a flat surface, to 3D, where their artwork transforms to sculpture, where their artwork can be seen 360 degrees around. 4th graders are creating sculptures with self-hardening clay. They had choices to create a coil bowl or work with a solid piece of clay using techniques such as carving, molding, pinching, and pulling and attaching if needed. Prescott art teacher Nikki Orfanos said the students embraced the challenge and the creativity was amazing. And finally, at the Oldham School, Ms. Shook's 2nd grade friends are getting cozy on Flashlight Friday. Every student chooses their favorite book. They dim the lights and everyone uses a flashlight to read. The students really enjoy reading in their cozy nooks. A lot of fun learning going on in Miss Shook's class, and I want to say hello to them because I know they're watching this newscast. Well, that's it for school news. The kids are always learning, and thanks to all the educators who share their school news with us. Now, let's send it to Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your sports update. The girls' basketball team had a good win over Ashland 58-40, but lost to Medfield this week. Before their matchup with Ashland, players from both teams celebrated MIAA National Official Appreciation Week. The girls' next games are Friday, February 10th at 6 at Holliston and Tuesday the 14th at 5 at Westwood. The boys' basketball team still continues to win, and I'm running out of ways to tell you how good they are. The team beat both Ashland 63-39 and Medfield in overtime 77-72. The Mustangs' next games are the 10th at home against Holliston at 7 and the 14th away at Westwood at 6:30. The gymnastics team faced Norton recently, and while they didn't get the win, the Mustangs scored their highest total of the season at 118.8. NCM was there at the Norton matchup and captured the moment Coach Broderick told her team their score for the evening, which is continuously improving.
Thank you again for coming. Another special shout out for all of our seniors. Gymnastics is a tough sport, making it all 4 years. We're running for a lot of events. Very tricky. I would like to say congratulations to Norton scoring a 130.75. And Norwood, we keep going up and up and up and up. We beat our high score of the season again at 118.
The next teams the Mustangs match up with will be Medway and Norton Friday the 10th at 6:30 at home. The girls' hockey team was able to beat Hopkinton 3-2 this week but lost to Braintree. In the Hopkinton win, goals were scored by freshman Isla Wilson, senior captain Morgan Roach, and junior assistant captain Michaela Reen. Their next game is Saturday the 11th at home, 3 o'clock against Medway, a team the Mustangs tied 1-1 very early on in the season. The boys' hockey team's 10-game unbeaten streak came to an end against Medfield, but were able to beat Ashland 3-1 and tie King Philip 3-3 this week. Junior Sam Lally, sophomore Jacob Sheehan, and senior assistant captain Connor Lydon all scored in the effort against KP, and junior Anthony Amato had 25 saves in net. Their next game is also Saturday the 11th at home, but against Holliston and at 5 o'clock. In track and field news, Norwood graduate and current student athlete at Stonehill, Solomon King, took second place in the men's 200-meter dash at the New England Intercollegiate Indoor Track and Field Championships. His time was 21.43 seconds, less than a tenth of a second behind first place. King also managed to break the Stonehill school record with his 200-meter dash, cementing himself in the Stonehill record books. Congratulations, Solomon. The wrestling team held a tri-meet at home last weekend, coming out with a win against Whitman Hanson, but lost to Weymouth and Bishop Connolly, as well as Bellingham on February 8th. Norwood vs. Bellingham was recorded by NCM, and you can watch it sometime next week on both the community channel and on our website, On Demand. As for upcoming sports coverage, NCM will be going live from the Skating Club of Boston on Saturday the 11th for the hockey doubleheader. The girls are taking on Medway at 3 with Joey and Joe DeVingo on the mics, and the boys are facing Holliston at 5, being called by Mark Hoover and Eric Bodenhofer. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Ron Marshallseed. And Norwood News will be right back after this break.
Norwood Community Media has its own video on-demand channels. You can go to our website, norwoodcommunitymedia.org, and click on whichever on-demand channel you are looking for, whether it be things to do in the community, events at the schools, or town government meetings. Once you click on one, you are going to be taken to a screen in which you can search for stories or videos you missed on TV or just want to watch again. Just click on the search bar on top of the page and start typing. Once you've found what you're looking for, just click in the middle of the video where the play button is, and you are off enjoying one of the 3 on-demand channels NCM has to offer.
On Monday night, Budget Balancing held their meeting virtually with a few items on the agenda. The school department presented their proposals and answered questions about their proposed budget. The committee also discussed the revenue projection for FY24. The Trails Advisory Committee met earlier this week to discuss several topics, including future guests, upcoming events, and walks completed by committee members. The committee received updates on trail maps and current projects on University Ave and Meadow Street. The Trails Advisory Committee will discuss their goals for the year at their next meeting, which will be on Tuesday, March 14th. The school committee turned back the clocks and met remotely this past Wednesday. The virtual meeting consisted of the committee unanimously voting to approve proprietary items for the new middle school project. They also approved an out-of-state overnight field trip request for music teacher Steve Conant and 4 students for Fine Arts Director Jeff Kerr. The trip is from Friday to Sunday, and it is a festival for music students where they will have rehearsals leading up to a performance at the festival. The committee unanimously approved the field trip pending confirmation of student insurance that the organization running the festival must provide. The Norwood Library is celebrating Black History Month in February along with other events and activities. Library Director Clayton Cheever has more.
Greetings from the Morrow Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. I'm Clayton Cheever. I use he, his pronouns, and I'm your library director. I'd like to tell you about a few things happening here at the library this February. Youth ages 10 to 17 are invited to come to the library and learn the art of making onigiri, one of Japan's popular comfort foods, on Saturday afternoon, February 25th, starting at 1. This program will be led by Ms. Yuko Honda, the Executive Director of the Japan Society of Boston. Together with Ms. Honda, each person will make and take home 2 rice balls, 1 plain and 1 with filling. Registration is required, and there's some allergen warnings you'll want to pay attention to if you have allergies, so please visit our online calendar or give us a call so we can help you get registered while spots are still available. People of all ages are encouraged to join us at the Norwood High School on Saturday, February 18th, starting at 2 for the Still I Rise celebration of Black History Month. I'm personally going to be there, and I hope you will join me for what's going to be a great time in the gymnasium, appreciating efforts by local students and socializing before some inspiring performances in the auditorium. Liz and I have been helping Officer Baguma with the planning, and I assure you, it is going to be a great event. The Friends of the Library have generously sponsored a great series of programs happening every Thursday evening in February at the First Congregational Church at 100 Winter Street, right next door to the library. Starting at 6, you can have fun while getting some healthy exercise with Stay Fit, Bollywood style. You don't need to have any previous dance experience to have a great time. This is backed by popular demand, so you may have heard about it or even tried it yourself last summer. Purnima Thakre is a popular dance workout instructor who's taught people from 3 years old to 96. We're recommending these programs for people 16 and older. Register today while there's still spaces available. They are filling up fast. The library is open 7 days a week and as late as 9 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and we have an incredible number of resources that are available through our website 24 hours a day. I encourage you to visit us at norwoodlibrary.org. Every month, I like to highlight a different online resource to encourage you to go out and make the most of these tools. This month, I'm highlighting our local history resources. It can be a little tricky to find these, but once you figure it out, you're going to want to tell all your friends and neighbors about it. From any page on our website, hover over the Home menu and choose the About section. Once you get to that page, scroll down and choose Norwood and Library History from the left side navigation menu. This is where you can find links to digitized copies of many local historical newspapers, 10 annual reports dating back to 1873, history about our jewel of a library, and even Norwood High School yearbooks all the way back to 1922. And yes, this is all available from any device connected to the internet. Pretty incredible, right? I've brought some books with me today I'm excited to tell you about. Sandra Neal Wallace wrote, and Caldecott Honor recipient Brian Collier illustrated this picture book, Love is Loud, How Diane Nash Led the Civil Rights Movement. Diane grew up in the south side of Chicago in the 1940s and was transformed by a visit to the Tennessee State Fair in '59. With strong words of truth and daring action, she was at the center of the lunch counter sit-ins, march to the courthouse, and later she rode with the Freedom Riders to integrate bus travel and traveled to Vietnam, working for peace. Older readers, feeling the spirit of Wallace and Collier's book and looking for an engrossing anthology filled with pictures and also lots of interesting writing, should check out Black Futures, edited by Kimberly Drew and Jenna Wortham. Starting with a question of what it means to be black and alive right now, this collection of images, photos, essays, memes, dialogues, recipes, tweets, poetry, and more tells the story of the radical, imaginative, provocative, and gorgeous world that black creators are bringing forth today. I've brought a second book for older readers. Winner of the 2021 National Book Award in Fiction, this novel is Hell of a Book by Jason Mott. It tells the story of an author who sets out on a cross-country book tour to promote his best-selling novel. It also tells the story of Soot, a young boy living in a rural town in the recent past, and The Kid, a possibly imaginary kid who appears to the author on his tour. While this heartbreaking and magical book entertains and is at once about family, love of parents and children, art, money, and race, there always is the tragic story of a police shooting playing over and over on the news. With lots of questions, twists, and turns, this book really earns its title. Now, I've brought the large print version of this book as a reminder that we have books in lots of different formats, and we would love to help you find something to read in whatever works best for you. I'd also like to remind everyone we have a homebound delivery service for people who are unable to leave their homes and visit us in the library. Just give us a call or visit our website to learn more. Now, I could talk about books all day long, but let me take a moment to remind you that we have a lot more than books here at the library. One of Norwood's hidden treasures is our Library of Things. February is American Heart Month, when we're all encouraged to focus on our cardiovascular health. If you don't already have one of these like I do in your home, I encourage you to borrow our blood pressure monitor. It includes the cuff with an air hose, an AC adapter, and a manual along with a digital monitor. Knowledge is power, so find out how your heart's doing and make sure you're taking care of yourself. This is just one example of the many things we have in our collection. I encourage you to check out our Library of Things online to get inspired for all the ways you can benefit from our shared treasures. This has been a Moral Moment. From everyone here at the library, I wish you and yours a safe and happy February. We look forward to seeing you in the library.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.